Have you ever been married? I haven't yet, but soon that's all going to change. We're back with the Unleash Wedding Special, Part 2. Welcome to Unleash Your Inner Creative. I'm Lauren LaGrasso. I'm your host. I'm here with my fiance, Timothy Michael Blewett. And now we're going to talk about what the wedding planning process has actually been like, what we're excited about, our realizations about ourselves, about our relationship with others, why I no longer believe in bridezillas. We've got a lot to get to. So let's talk about the wedding planning, shall we?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
It's brought up a lot. So we went to Australia right after we got engaged, and then we came back, and pretty soon after, by mid-November, we had started looking at venues. Mm-hmm. So the first part was finding a venue. I thought the first part was going to be getting a wedding planner, and I wish I would have. Because the wedding planning process has been so intense. Like, as anybody listening knows, I have for a long time had many different jobs and creative passions and balanced them all with a decent level of ease. Wedding planning is next level creative energy that I just didn't realize. And the reason we didn't end up going with the wedding planner was because their prices were astronomical, and they still are. That said, now that I have done a lot of the wedding planning process, I think that their prices are fair.
Yeah, I would agree. It's really difficult because it's one day. So it's other creative endeavors. It's one day, but it's going to happen again next year. And you have things to look back on to see, mistakes that you've made, things you want to build on. But this, you have no prior experience if you're getting married for the first time, and you have nothing to fall back on, and it is one day, and you need to pull it all off without any prior knowledge.
Yeah, that's a real rub, is that I love that my favorite part of life is learning from my mistakes and getting to do better the next time. Like, I don't like making mistakes, but I like the fact that mistakes have meaning because you get to learn from them and do better the next time. With a wedding, God willing, there is no next time. So it's like, it kind of sucks to only get to make the mistake and then you don't ever get to do better. Like, I hate that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so that has been really difficult. And then I think, I'm happy we were able to save the money and not have a wedding planner, but the extra stress it adds has been intense. So anyway, we did interviews with wedding planners, kind of decided we didn't want to go that route because it just seemed like a ridiculous expense when we could put that money into other areas of our wedding instead. And so we began the hunt for a venue, and we probably saw like a dozen venues.
Yeah, I think it was anywhere between 10 and 12.
Yeah. And there was never that feeling of, the feeling I had with Timmy where it was like, this feels right. This feels like home. This feels like the one, We just kept going to these places, and I'm like, I don't know. Are we even going to find something? And it was the Monday after Thanksgiving. And again, we had already been to almost a dozen venues at this point. And I think that morning I had some sort of mental breakdown just because I was so stressed and feeling the pressure of it has to be perfect. And that's something I want to get back to as well. This idea that it is just one day and it has to be perfect. But I think I was just feeling so overwhelmed with it. Between that and work and my other stuff going on in life and creativity, I just felt exasperated. And we almost canceled going to this venue tour. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we even did cancel the one afterwards. We were going to see this one and another one.
That's right.
And we said, we've only got time for one, or we only have the bandwidth or the energy to do one. Let's do this one that's in Simi Valley because it's closer. Yeah, it's a little bit closer.
And we didn't even want to get married in Simi Valley. I didn't even really know what Simi Valley was before we went to this venue. We wanted to get married in Santa Barbara, but for some reason, when we did the little search on Wedding Wire or The Knot or wherever it was, when we searched for Santa Barbara, this place called Quail Ranch in Simi Valley came up. I thought it was in Santa Barbara until I had made the appointment to go, and it was in Simi Valley. So we ended up heading there, and we drive up and we park, and this probably like 5'1" or 5'2" woman with this really cute sun hat on and this little like, long jeans skirt and like, shirt, regular shirt. It was just like a nice shirt. It came out. I'm trying to think of what it was. I don't
I
remember.
think it was like a dress shirt, right?
Yeah.
Some sort of a dress,
Maybe were ruffles,
long sleeve.
Were there ruffles in it?
There might have been, yeah.
Okay. It's coming back. So this woman comes up. Her name is Joanne. My mom's name is Joanne. She takes us, like we shake hands, and she starts taking us on this tour of the venue. And here's one thing I will say about everything that has been with my wedding so far, or our wedding, I should say.
Our wedding.
So far.
Everything in this house is to share.
Everything in this house is to share, including the wedding. Everything, like, so far has been like the cliches say. Like, between, people always say when you know about your spouse. I always felt like that with you. Also, when we got to this venue, it just felt different. Like, I was getting chills. I kept crying, like tears were just streaming down my face. I could picture it for the first time. That was another thing. I think with Tim, like when we first met, I could see our whole lives. It felt like somebody had projected it on a projector screen and I could just see our lives together. And I felt like the same thing was happening, but with our wedding at this venue. And the way Joanne, who is one of the owners of Quail Ranch, explained every area on the venue, she was like, okay, and before you walk out, Lauren, you're going to stand under this tree. And that's good because trees bring you peace. And you'll just stand here and take a breath before you walk out to see Tim. And she was just such a brilliant saleswoman, but also a brilliant storyteller. And the venue is so cool because each area is different. So the place where the ceremony will happen is different from the place where cocktail hour will happen, is different from where the reception will be. But they're all in the midst of nature, which was really important to us. We wanted to get married outside, but not in a rustic location, which you will be shocked, even in Southern California, is quite difficult to have. Like, the amount of venues that have pretty outdoor space without any barns nearby, it's quite remarkable. They're like, barns are just like synonymous with wedding venues now. For some reason.
Almost every venue. Well, I shouldn't say that, but there were a lot of venues that were like, and now we will show you the barn.
Yeah. At least half of them.
Yeah. And I know that that was your one thing. You're like, I'm not a barn girl. Don't want to do the barn.
Listen, I've been to a barn wedding. It was a blast. They're so fun. If you are the type of person that is more rustic, that loves barns, that is great. But I just kept thinking about high school, because I feel like weirdly my high school friends knew me really well. And even the people who were like high school acquaintances, they just got me. And I'm like, if anyone I went to high school with heard that Lauren LaGrasso was getting married in a barn, they would be like, something has gone seriously wrong for this girl. So I was just like, that was my litmus test, because I feel like those people knew and know my authentic self. And so then, like, I also know my authentic self. And I'm just like, I cannot be wed in a barn. And there was a venue we liked a lot, but they're like, yeah, and if it rains, you'll be in the barn. And I was like, I can't be in the barn.
Yeah. Too big of a risk, because we were asking, like, everyone wants to know, is it going to rain on their wedding day?
Yeah.
And in Southern California, the answer is basically no, but there's no way to predict that.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get a straight answer of like, can you kind of guarantee that we won't have to come to this barn? And they were just like, no guarantees.
No. You might have to be barn.
Might have to be barned up.
Born in a barn.
Born in a barn.
Our marriage born in a barn. So yeah. So anyway, it was just like also amazing because this place gives vibes of a magical fairy garden. It's just flowers everywhere and these trees that tell a story, and that they feel like they've got this wisdom to them. And it's just this beautiful landscape, and just everywhere you look, like there's a vineyard. So there you can see the mountains. It had everything that every other venue we looked at had. Like, we liked the vineyard from this one. We liked the trees from this place. We liked the flowers at this place. It felt like it had everything from every other venue combined. But most importantly, something about like stepping foot on the grounds brought peace to my heart, tears to my eyes, and a vision for what our day would look like.
Yeah. And just the feng shui, like that's something that I'll never forget, the way that Joanne like just moved us gracefully, like from one section to the next, and was telling the story of like, this is how your day is going to be, and here's where the guests are going to be. And we could see it.
Yeah.
We could see our guests. We could envision it. I had a good feeling about it. And when you said that you knew that that was the place, I was like, yeah, this is the place.
And we did look at a couple places after that, but like you can tell when you want something by how you react to other people like not wanting it as much as you did. And there was one point where I thought you didn't want to get married at Quail Ranch. And remember, I reacted really badly. I was like, well, what are you saying? Why don't you want to get married? Like, I got so defensive. And so, like, I was already fighting for it.
Yeah.
And I think you were in that moment just trying to be like, let's keep our options open. Let's think. Like, you weren't, like, at all against it. And I think you did like it the best.
Yeah. Because also by that time, the pressure was mounting, you know. So when we started looking for venues in November, I think almost as soon as we came back from Australia. So it would have been like very early November. We were doing research and looking up places. And when your parents came back out for Thanksgiving, that's when we tactically were like, okay, we can go here, we can go there, we can go there. And it was almost Christmas time, and we still hadn't made a decision. And we wanted to get married in the summer or in the fall. And the people that we were talking to, dates were just filling up.
Yeah.
Like crazy. I've never seen something go this fast.
I had no clue because we really wanted to get married in October. Ideally, we really wanted to get married on our 4-year anniversary just to keep things consistent.
Yeah.
But so anyway, yeah, the one other thing I'll say for anybody who is in a stage of getting married, there's a huge ring drop that happens around Christmas time. So we knew the massive importance of picking out a venue before all of these people are getting engaged.
Right.
Because I don't know what the percentage is, but a big percentage of proposals happen right around Christmas and between New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we asked Joanne for the dates, and they didn't have anything in October. All they had was November and August. And so we decided in August because that's actually when we started dating, you know, so that was still really, you know.
Yeah, our first date was August 21st.
Yeah, and we're getting married on August 29th.
August 29th.
So anyway, and then the other reason was in November, there's a greater chance of rain. So, and it's like not as good of weather. Like we were there and it was kind of chilly. By the time it's night, it's going to be pretty chilly. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the date was signed, sealed, and delivered. So our relationship is a Libra and our marriage will be a Virgo.
Holla.
I love it because we get the air energy and the earth energy. So getting the venue was huge. That probably, it wasn't the hardest part, but I think I felt the most pressure about that because so much of that dictates what the day and the event will be like.
Right.
What do you think has been the hardest part of wedding planning so far?
There's a lot to this because it's really difficult. But I think in the last few months, all the vendors like reaching out and making sure that they have everything that they need and that we know what we want and just keeping in touch with them. And you've done a great job of taking the lead on this and like reaching out and email and point of contact. But finding everyone, finding all the right pieces of the puzzle, because if you get stuck with a bad vendor or someone that you have regrets about or that you don't like I think it can ruin the experience.
Yeah.
But
people
I think
are everything.
Yeah. And the fact that you and I like did our due diligence beforehand and we followed through and we met with every single person that we've selected and we just felt the energy. We felt it was good. We got recommendations. It really feels, and I've said this too throughout the process of like, we've got all the major players in place. And so I think that's the biggest thing of like getting your team together so that on the day of, we can just be like, all right, let's just enjoy.
Yeah. You know, I think I've joked a lot about how I didn't realize that like I was going to be taking on another part-time job or like I'm running a very small business, but it really does feel like that. And you're like curating your team and it's like a one-day business. Mm-hmm. Like it's like one day and then it's like a pop-up.
And you make no money.
Yeah. Actually, you pay a lot.
You lose, yeah.
You might even go into debt. No. But yeah, like I just didn't realize how much energy and personnel we would be managing. Like when people would talk about vendors for weddings, I'm like, oh, that's cute. I didn't know what it meant, that you're like literally you're hiring all these people. And so, yeah, that process was really intense, like making sure we got everyone, that they had the date available, that they were in our budget. One other thing I'm going to say to any creative listening right now, get into the wedding industry. Oh my gosh. If it's $5, it's $500. You know, like there is just, and by that I mean like if something would be like $5 in the normal world, in the wedding world, suddenly it's $500. There is no limit on the markup somebody can do when the word wedding is in front of it. Wedding blank. Just start saying you're a wedding, fill in the blank with whatever your creative thing is, and you will instantly start making more money.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And I will say, like, we've encountered a lot of people along the way that they don't like the price gouging. So I think there's a difference between knowing that this is such a special day and the maximum effort is expected of you, of like it's got to be perfect. So that's why the price increases. But we have come across some vendors that we have not hired,
Yes,
that we could see like, okay, we just don't believe that you're going to be able to provide the service that you say you can for that price.
you know what? For people that can afford it and that feel like that's a good price, that's great for them. But like there was one photographer recommended to us that I really liked their work, but we didn't even end up meeting with them because when they sent over their prices, it was so ridiculous for not even a full day of shooting that I'm like, no, not doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some people that they are exactly the right hire for, but it wasn't us. But I will say, like, yes, people should charge whatever they want to charge, but I think we should all be in the wedding industry because it's a ridiculous industry.
We should have one service that is like, this is the wedding rate. We offer this service and it's for weddings and this is how much we charge.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just say out of the planning process, I think that it has been hard getting all the people down, managing the communication, but also managing all of the expectations and opinions around me for sure has been the hardest part.
Yes, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
But yes, the mental gymnastics or the mental clarity or the focus required of like, you want opinions and you want to hear, because again, we have no experience. And so we want all the knowledge that we can receive. But then at a certain moment, it's like, stop, don't need it. Please stop. Don't need that advice anymore. Go back. And now you and I are very clear and very vocal about like, thank you very much. We've got everything set in place.
Yeah. You know, the thing, if I could go back and tell myself some advice, I would say set boundaries early and often. And boundaries, I've been thinking about that word a lot lately. I even think maybe intentions is a better word, because I think sometimes people like hear boundaries, whether they're the one setting the boundary or they're the one receiving it. And they're like, oh, that's a boundary. Or like, I have to set a boundary. It's like setting an intention of even this, like there's some people around me who seem more stressed out about my wedding than I am about my wedding. And many times throughout, I have let my nervous system be hijacked by those people. And I just need to set the intention and stick to it of, I'm not going to be stressed. I've just decided like I might be dealing with a lot, but I'm not going to let my nervous system get hijacked, get stressed out by it. I'm just going to approach each thing and check them off my list. And I can do that without freaking myself out. Mm-hmm. But when other people start getting involved and opinions get involved and like there's too many cooks in the kitchen, when at the end of the day, it's supposed to be Tim and I making dinner, AKA making the wedding. It can get really challenging. So it's like people, because they're sweet, want to give opinions and want to help. And that's great as long as it's great.
Yeah.
And when it ceases to be great, you have to set a boundary.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say like there's been a lot of growth that you and I have done in terms of understanding that about ourselves and and recognizing, because it also spills over into everyday life. Like if we can recognize in the wedding planning that we're getting triggered by something or our nervous system is getting hijacked, we can start to see that pattern when it's everyday things. If someone talks about our appearance or we take something personally or, whatever it is, recognizing what that feels like in the body and just being like, oh, I've done this before and it never pans out well. And I need to just re-regulate, and this is my life and I'm going to live it this way.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're bringing up a really good point, which is one of the hardest parts of wedding planning for me has been realizing how much self-development work I still need to do, because weddings will bring up everything you're working on or have to work on to a new extent, because this is supposed to be, by society standards, the most special day of your life. The day that everybody understands. Like, as creatives, we've had to go through so many big days that society doesn't get. You know, they don't get when you put out your first music video. They don't get when you go to Europe and you like support yourself to do it and you take classes for 2 years. They don't get a lot of the times like the big significant moments as a creative or a small business owner or whatever it is, you know, that you are. But people are supposed to understand weddings, right? And so when somebody doesn't show up for you in the way that you've been told they will, or that you think they're supposed to, it really makes you feel like, well, shit, if they don't get this, then maybe I'm not that important.
Yeah. My heart is breaking a little bit, just reliving some of the trauma I've experienced.
Yeah. You know, it's like I think the times when people had like, just like little things, like, you know, there were a couple people who couldn't come to my bachelorette party. And of course, like, it makes sense. There've been bachelorette parties I couldn't go to, and I love those people dearly. I sobbed. And of course, like, I understand, like, people have to work. But like the way it affects you is so much more heightened, because you're like, well, this is where everybody rallies around me. And if they're not going to rally around me here, like, where will they?
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of have to do a reality check with yourself and be like, why is that affecting you so much? What is it touching on? Or like, where don't you feel worthy that you feel this way? Also, my people pleasing issues have totally come to a head during this, where I've noticed there's certain things I want, but I feel like I shouldn't ask for them because I don't want to inconvenience anyone. Or if somebody gets like a little annoyed with something I'm doing, I'm like, oh my gosh, is that too much? Maybe I should do less. Or even like, you know, my mom and dad have been unbelievable. They have been so supportive. Not only are they gifting us most of this wedding, we're pitching in where we can, but my parents are really doing the bulk of this. And I can never thank them enough, because we could not have this wedding the way we are if it wasn't for them. They've been absolutely incredible. And because of that, and because I love them, we love them so much, we want them to be involved in the planning. But there have been certain things that like my mom and I have conflicted on our ideas about, and that has been so hard. And like when my mom brings up things that I can tell she's wanting to do because she wants to people please, or like, you know, make everybody happy, it triggers that in me. And then I feel like I have to be that way. But I'm like, wait a minute, but it's about us. Like, you know, I want to give everybody the greatest day, and it's going to be an incredible wedding. It's going to be great. Awesome. Like, I'm so jazzed for everyone who is on the invite list. But, you know, at a certain point, we also can't drive ourselves crazy. And so it's like, it's just been interesting to see like how many of these issues have popped up, how many issues are familial issues, and like things that we're kind of all in the bloodline working on, like this people pleasing component. Yeah. I wonder how all that strikes you.
Getting back to what you were saying about how sad you are when someone isn't able to join you, like, I don't know where that comes from, but I think it hurts in the sense of like you feel so happy and so alive, and you reach out and you ask someone and say like, please join me on my special day, and the excuses are wide. There's all kinds of, maybe it's not even an excuse, but the reasons why people say no can be anything from like, no, sorry, I just can't make it, to, you know, I'm looking after my family or something like that, and I won't be able to because I have a new child on the way or something. And you just, some part of me at least internalizes that and is just like, oh, like I'm not special enough to, but it really, it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it's true. And there were two people I cried when they couldn't come, you know? So like one of my childhood friends, which it totally made sense why she couldn't come. Like, she's got a young family and she just couldn't work it out with her husband. You know, the thing is, we're having a local wedding to us, but 2/3 of our people are coming from out of town. So it's a destination wedding for a lot of intents and purposes. So it made sense, but it was just like, oh my gosh, I always pictured this person there. This is so sad. And then somebody who I work with really closely also who lives in another country wasn't able to work it out financially. And it all makes sense. And it's still like, it's surprising how illogical you can get in your emotions.
Yeah. Do they must not love me? Did I say something? Did I offend them in some way? Did I, like, my mind has done that multiple times. And a friend of mine is just like, he said very clearly, no, I just had a child. I'm going to be looking after my child.
Right.
So it's like, oh yeah, that's what it is. But my mind and my body and my heart is like, oh, it's me.
Yeah. But
My
then
friend.
you have friends.
My friends.
But then you have people like my friend Julie, who literally gave birth a week ago. So by the time we get married, she will have been 3 weeks postpartum, is flying in from Michigan to stand up in my wedding. Badass.
Yeah.
Like the most beautiful like, I don't know any other human being who could do that. My friend Julie is one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. Like when she sets her mind to something, she just does it. But you also have that kind of a display of love. So it's like, it's big emotions. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Like I've been really surprised at how big the emotions have been for me everywhere. The joy has been so high, and the moments of like disappointment have been really difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
And the realizations about the self-development work, like, oh, okay, like I do think that this journey has helped me close a gap further in my people-pleasing stuff, because especially the past couple months, I think I've gotten to like a new height where you and I have really been united as a team. That's another like piece of advice I'd like to give. Like decide early on that it's you as a couple that is facing every challenge, not like you as individuals, because like you're literally going into this marriage to become like a true partnership. So
Yeah.
it's a good place to start. But yeah, like I think that I've done a lot of work on myself throughout this process as these little moments have come up.
Yeah. It's a great exploration, which, getting back to the hiring a wedding planner or not, in some ways I think that we've learned so much more by not having a wedding planner.
Yeah.
Like we've saved a lot of money and we've learned so much, and it has been really stressful. But the fact that we were able to take all these little lessons that otherwise maybe we wouldn't have encountered, because there would have been someone else on the other end saying like, oh, I'll reach out to this person for you. I'll reach out to that. Don't worry about being a united front in this way, because I'm going to take care of it. But instead, you and I have had to have the difficult conversations, and we had to show up in such a way that, to me, like, I know that this experience has made me grow as a person and as a vendor and creative myself, of just watching people, like watching them, how they tell their stories, how they bring you into their business, how they sell their services, how they interact. There have been people that we've talked about, we were stark against hiring them. We were like, we were not going to hire you because of the way that they presented themselves.
Yeah, it was really helpful being on the other end of the table. And yeah, like anybody who does go throughout this process, use it as your little business school lesson, and really ask yourself, why did I hire that person? What was the thing that put me over the edge? You know, with some people, it was personality. With some people, it was just a feeling. With some people, it was the way they sold themselves, the way, like Joanne, the way she told the story. And, you know, that's something I want to start doing if ever I'm like, I don't know, selling something, is putting people in the experience through my storytelling. And I think that's such an important thing. But yeah, like you're really right. And also, this has caused us to be such a united front. Like before we do anything, we check in with each other. I'm like, what do you think about this? And we'll confer. And then if we both agree, we'll move forward. So you're right. Like if we had been working with a wedding planner, she would have been the one coming to both of us and doing that. And I think that like when you're in the lead, taking lead on some part of the wedding planning, you come to me, ask me my opinion, and then you go forward, and it's the same. And the two of us have disagreed on very few things throughout the wedding planning process, which I think has been heartening.
Yeah.
You know, we had one little hiccup when we were putting together the guest list. The guest list was brutal.
Yeah, because we have such a limited number of people that we're able to invite, and we come from very big families.
And we're both, you know, recovering people pleasers. So
Yeah.
we were terrified to leave anyone out. And we love people. We love the people in our lives so much. There's people who I love dearly who we could not invite, you know, and it was heartbreaking. And you come from a huge family. I come from a decently big family. And we both have a lot of friends and a lot of people we love who we've worked with throughout the years. So that process was brutal. And I was fighting really hard for some of my people. You were fighting really hard for some of yours. In the end, we compromised.
We compromised. We got the list together.
And we figured it out. But it was really, that was like really the only super hard moment.
Yeah. And I would say that was because that was early on in the planning process. I think that was also a pivotal moment of us understanding, like, this is how we have to work together. Like we have to also take our own, what's the word? Our own personal feelings, for lack of a better term. What is that word that I'm looking for?
I actually don't know. Sorry.
Egos.
Yes.
We have to take our own egos and we have to say, you know, like, it's not like, as much as I want this, it's about us and it's about what's best for the wedding. And it's about how the other person is feeling. And it's not, you know, I'm going to state my case and say why this person should be there. It's coming to a mutual understanding of like, this person is immediate family. And so, you know, they have to be there. We have to make room for them. Or, you know, this doesn't mean a lot to me, but it means a lot to you. And so I'm going to find a way to make a sacrifice or a concession or figure out how we can make this happen.
Yeah. And I think for anyone listening who's in this stage, it comes down to making some rules about the, like, okay, we're going to invite this kind of person. We're inviting this person in this tier of our lives, but they can't bring their kids. Or like, we're inviting this person in this tier of our lives, but like, unfortunately, unless they have a significant other, we can't give them a +1. Like, those are really, really hard decisions to make that we did not relish, but it comes down to budget and capacity of the venue and like having the most, you know, nearest and dearest to us there. So we got through that. And I think that kind of gave us the foundation of like, okay, we're not going to fight about something like that again. We're going to work together from the beginning versus being at odds.
Yeah. Yeah. And everything since then, you know, we've had hard conversations about helping each other throughout the process of like when one of us feels that they're doing more than the other and communicating through it, which has been difficult because there have been times where you've picked up way more slack than I have. And there have been times where I felt like I was giving a lot of energy and it wasn't reciprocated. So like navigating that, and it's a good precursor.
Even hearing you say that, I'm like what?
Yeah. Like what? Like driving to all the venues.
Yeah.
Like
you did a lot of stuff. I mean, I think realizing that like, as long as you're both putting in energy, like there are certain things that you're naturally going to be better at. Like I'm a quicker communicator than you are.
Yeah. And I've really enjoyed the physical aspects, like stuffing the bags, putting together the gift bags.
Stuffing the gifts. I've been over here stuffing the gifts all day. That's what he said.
Stuffing the gifts. The music. I've really enjoyed putting together like, what is it, like 36 hours worth of music that potentially we can use for our 2.5 hour window of dancing, you know? So like doing that, but the physical things I feel really good and comfortable being able to accomplish. Do we need boxes broken down? Do we need this being done? Do we need this being lifted and carried? And the communication.
You've done things other than that, though. That makes it sound like all you've been doing is grunt work, which isn't true.
No, we've really complimented each other. Yeah,
we've been tackling a lot, and if there were times when I felt like overwhelmed, I was like, "Hey, I need you to handle this, this, and this," and you did. So I do think we've worked together, and it's helped us work more.
Yeah,
together.
Yeah. Our communication has really.
Yeah. And things that were like hard about a year ago, like don't feel hard anymore. Like some of the financial discussions we've even had, like leading up to the wedding and leading up to marriage, because that's a big thing. Like I have never combined my finances with someone before. And I found it quite terrifying. Like leading up to having those conversations with you, I was so scared. And then remember, we finally like decided, we're like, okay, we're going to show each other our bank accounts and like talk about everything financial and like how we actually want to approach this and how we want to combine, what we want to keep separate. And it was the biggest nothing burger.
Yeah. Yeah,
It was
what is
shocking.
that button from Staples? That was easy.
Yeah.
It felt like that. Of just like, wow, we had built this huge monster
Yeah.
in our minds, and then when we just sat down and we were like, we have to do this. It was difficult, but then it was like, wow, that was relatively painless.
Yeah, it really was.
And then we got ice cream afterwards.
Yeah, and we went on a walk. It was so fun.
It was. It was. And now, yeah, like ripping off that Band-Aid quickly or, efficiently has now made more room for us to be more honest, more open, less fearful.
Yeah.
It's just paved the way. It's pavéd the way for more discussions, more open discussions with honesty.
Yeah, so true. I do also feel kind of bad that we talked about negative stuff before we talked about fun stuff. Like, what's the hardest thing you've
what is
done?
the hardest thing you've ever
Well, there
done?
were a lot of hard parts. I think that's what I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah, because in my mind, like even now, like I remember we got engaged, we went to Australia, we came back, and we were looking at all the prospective venues, and I just felt like I was on cloud nine. Like it felt
Yeah.
like a dream. Like literally, like we're going to some of the nicest, most beautiful places, mountains and hillsides, places in Southern California that you would think are in Boston or the East Coast, the way that they're curated. And like it was the fall, and so the leaves in some places were changing, and in my mind, I'm thinking like this is so beautiful, and everything is going to come together, and it's going to be seamless. And I don't care that everyone else has told me that wedding planning is hard. It's not going to be hard for us.
Not for us.
Yeah, we won't go that way. But then you get into the nitty gritty of it, and it's like, wow, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, I felt the same way, and I kept trying to avoid it being like that. And if you're having a certain size wedding and you're handling a lot of it yourself, I don't know. Like, I don't know why it is so hard. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, even my cousin said, like, the other day, she's like, marriage is great. Weddings are hard. And I'm like, why do we do it then?
Yeah.
But I suppose okay, I'll tell you the most beautiful and fun parts for me. They've been about, like, our connection and our union. And, oh, like I'm going to start crying.
You could cry, baby.
Thank you. But it's been about, were you thinking of putting your arm around me?
Yes.
You can. I don't care that it makes the video less good. But the most beautiful and fun parts have been about like when we wrote our vows, when we selected our officiant, when we chose the music. That was probably my favorite part of the entire wedding planning process. Was like, well, probably those three things was choosing the music because we really got to picture it. And it was like, what songs represent our love? Because my friend Kaylee Schaefer, incredible violinist and songwriter and singer, but she will be playing violin at our wedding and her dad is going to play piano. And choosing the songs that you're going to walk down the aisle to, that our friends are going to walk down the aisle to, that I'm going to walk down the aisle to, that once we get married, we're going to walk back and be like, yes, we did,
we did it.
Like the ceremony parts were my favorite part to plan. The party part was hard.
Yeah.
Nothing about the idea of marrying you or the ceremony was hard. And like, that's what it really is all about. The party is just the party, but like the ceremony is where we announce in front of our friends, family, and God and each other, of course, that you are the person I choose for the rest of my life. Like that is the magic. And I think that's what I enjoyed. I know that's what I enjoyed the most. That was the most magical part of this, was choosing the venue and then those three components that make up the ceremony.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I remember that day where we met with Kaylee over the phone and we were talking about music selections and then we started putting the pieces into place. And there's something about music and there's something about music in the planning process of the wedding that for whatever reason in this moment, it brought new life into the whole process of just like, because I think we could visualize, like we were choosing our songs and we were visualizing entering the space and standing there. And I had some guests in mind that I knew were going to be there, some family members, and just trying to feel, I wasn't even trying to feel those emotions, but they were coming through because I was listening to the music in this state of mind. So there was something very life-giving about that.
Yeah, it's so true. That, and then also getting my dress was pretty magical.
I haven't seen it yet, by
I
the
haven't
way.
seen it.
So
I almost accidentally showed it to you yesterday. It's hard when you got pictures on your phone. But yeah, that was another cliche that was totally true. When I got into the dress, I just started crying instantly.
you knew.
I knew. And when this girl brought out the dress, I was like, you want me to put on that thing? And then when I put it on, I was like, oh my gosh,
Wow.
it's perfect. I never would have picked it out for myself, though. So that's a piece of advice. People, one thing you'll realize is when you get engaged, people give you all your advice, and I'm no different, apparently. No, if you were sitting in front of me, I wouldn't give you my advice, but since you've chosen to listen to my podcast, I am. I'd only give you my advice if you ask for it. But if you do decide to get married and you're looking for a dress, let the salesperson give you ideas that you think are outside of what you want. Because the truth is, I didn't know what I wanted. I went in thinking I wanted a completely different style than I ended up with. I never could now picture another dress other than the one that I have. This dress, I like to say, it's as if my younger self, like my childhood self, collaborated with my truest, highest self to spin this dress from scratch. It's truly as if it was made for me. And yeah, I feel like a natural woman when I wear it.
Wow.
Can't wait for you to see it.
Can't wait to see it.
So that was so fun. Like finally discovering the dress, confirming that it was the right one. Cause I tried it on twice, even though I knew the first time. And then meeting Brianna, who is our amazing saleswoman that I met at Pronovias in Beverly Hills, which is a great experience. Definitely go in there, meet Brianna. She is a powerhouse and so multi-talented. She does so many things. She designs, she's a podcast host, she's an Instagram personality. She's incredible, but she's also the manager of Pronovias. And she just made the experience unbelievable. And I just highly recommend that place. It was just so beautiful and magical, and I can't wait to wear my dress. I'm already sad I only get to wear it once. I'm gonna wear it. I want to go on like a bar crawl with fellow former brides and wear our dresses so we can wear them again, because I'm already mourning that I only get to wear it one time.
We'll find other occasions for you to wear the dress.
Maybe every anniversary I can put it on.
Yeah, at least around the home.
Yeah.
We might as well.
Please.
Yeah,
Around
please.
the home. Come on.
But yeah, it has been a great process. Well, actually, for me, the suits have been not such a good process, and only because my groomsmen most are in Illinois, and then there's a couple here in California, and so we haven't been able to go together like to a Men's Warehouse or to like all be together, and I just never knew that suit shopping for men for weddings to get the exact color and cut, kind of like a diamond, the color, the cut, the clarity. It's been so difficult.
Well, it's because you wanted something very specific.
Yeah.
So if you had just wanted a generic black suit, I don't think that would have been hard for you at all.
Oh, no, that would have been super
simple.
Yeah, super easy.
It was because you wanted the specific color. And for whatever reason, this color was not easy to find in a cut that was affordable.
Yeah.
And that was accessible to many different body types.
Yeah, because again, most of the groomsmen are coming from Illinois, and so it's already a big ask to say, like, can you set aside your schedule, and can you come out to California, and can you pay for a hotel, and can you like provide all the logistics of just getting here? And then the groomsmen say, like, and can you buy this $500 suit? It was just like, I don't know that. I wouldn't feel comfortable asking people to pay that kind. So I was looking at affordability. I was looking at color. I was looking at cut. And I think we found something that's going to work. But it has been an eye-opening experience for me too, in terms of like, wow, yeah, you gotta, if you're taking on something of this magnitude of like 8 groomsmen, start planning early.
Yeah. And the other thing that I was shocked by, because we've planned so many trips, we've been on amazing trips. We went to Europe, and we went to like 3 different countries while we were there. And we've gone to Australia and to all these different cities in Australia and to Mexico and all over Southern California. We planned incredible trips for pretty affordable prices.
Yeah, very affordable.
Yeah.
Like I'm still amazed at some of the trips that we've done without breaking the bank
At
At
all.
all. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of that was due to like Delta miles and then just being really crafty with how we booked hotels and everything. And I don't know what it is about a honeymoon. Maybe it's just that we started planning it later because we were like, well, we'll get to that. We need to handle the wedding 1st, you know? But, and I think also a part of it is, again, this whole idea of you only get one shot, you know? It's like, so it has to be perfect. If I could take that pressure off of us, I would, but I don't even know if it's possible with a wedding because it is so like this one time you get to do it.
Yeah.
Like I do want to take the pressure off for everything to be perfect, but I still feel myself having a hard time and like feeling like it needs to be. I think it's also stoked feelings of perfectionism in me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. I mean, if we are able to zen it well and just say like we've done all the work and then day of just release and be like all the work is there.
I think we will. I've already decided that like a million things can go wrong. It doesn't matter because I'm marrying the right person. So like even if you know, I get a huge stain all over my dress, like I will be really bummed, but also it doesn't matter. I'm marrying the right person.
Yeah.
Like,
and sometimes those
I'm just not going to eat anything colorful for at least until the ceremony's over.
we're looking into bibs. We're trying to get bibs.
I bought us. This is a little piece of advice. Actually, I got this from Hannah Brown, who you know. On her wedding, she wore a parka, like, you know, one of those things that keeps you dry in the rain over her dress. So that gave me the idea. So she didn't get it stained. And that gave me the idea. I'm like, I don't know if I want to wear a parka, but maybe I could wear a bib, like a glamorous bib. So I found us aprons.
Ooh.
And mine says wifey and yours says hubby.
Hubby.
Established
All right.
2025. And I just bought them for us.
All right.
So
Thank
we're
you
going to
very
wear
much.
those while we eat so we don't stain our clothes. Because I will be eating at our wedding. Our food is amazing.
Yes.
I think it's going to be the best food anybody's ever tasted at a wedding.
Yes.
Mark my words.
I was a little worried about not being able to eat at our wedding because there's so many guests there and we're going to be saying hello, but we have a sweetheart table and so we will have time to eat.
Yes, that's right.
But
People can approach, but we'll still be dining. So getting back to what I originally started talking about, like what derailed us on this whole perfectionism journey, which was the honeymoon. This was so much harder to plan than I thought it would be. First of all, I was just floored by the expense of it all. And second of all, I couldn't, like, what do you think that was? Like, why has it been so easy for us to go to Europe and Australia and Mexico, like, and figure it out and do it affordably? And then we had plans to go everywhere under the sun. We wanted to go to Bora Bora at first. Then we're like, no, we're not going to go to Bora Bora. It's too expensive. We'll just go to Tahiti. Then we literally couldn't find anywhere to stay in Tahiti. Then we were like, okay, no, we're going to go to Greece and then Sicily. And then that just felt too complicated because we would have to hop between all these different cities. And still, it was very expensive. Then we're like, oh, no, we're going to go to St. Martin. We're like, the prices are amazing. We can get there for free because I had enough miles.
We even booked our tickets. We booked our flight.
The ticket. We were this close to booking. And by this, I mean like about an inch away from booking a non-refundable hotel. But we decided to wait because we wanted to see if we could like get this like special room for 2 nights that was more expensive. So we didn't book it that night.
We called them up.
We tried.
We had the hotel. It was ringing.
Yeah, it was ringing
in St. Martin's.
But they didn't answer. So the next day I'm like, I guess I feel like I should Google when hurricane season is there. Go figure. The reason everything was so cheap was it's hurricane season now. When is it most hurricaney? Most chance of hurricane? The first week of September, exactly when we booked. So thank God we were able to, within the 24-hour limit, cancel that flight, get our miles back. And finally, through Costco travel, we decided to go with Fiji because it was in our budget. It even had like food included. And it just turned out to be like the one hotel that we like looked through all the ones on Costco and we're like, this seems amazing. That was the one that they had available, the only one they had available in the dates we wanted to go. So I would say if you want to go on a honeymoon right after your wedding, start planning at least like 4 or 5 months in advance because we waited until like a month and a half before, and usually that's fine for us. Like I think we've done most of our travel within like 2 months to a couple weeks before we left. But again, because the stakes are so heightened with your honeymoon, I really recommend doing it sooner than we did.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, there's a blessing and a curse too, the blessing being that we have traveled to so many different places already. So we were like, well, where should we go? Well, we've already been to Mexico. We've already been to Australia. I had already been to Greece, but I was willing to go again. We had already.
Oh, what a sacrifice. I was willing to do it for my wife.
My wife. But it was, we wanted to find a place that was meaningful to both of us, that was special to both of us. If we had not been there before, that would have been ideal. Neither of us have been to Fiji. So, yeah, I mean, all the logistics of like finding it. And then, like you're saying, like our mind was so on planning the wedding itself that honeymoon was second, just came in second or third or fourth. But I think that this worked out for both of us.
Yeah. So true, baby. So some questions we did get from Instagram. How do you think marriage will change our relationship, if at all? Because we're already living together. Spoiler alert, we're living in delicious sin.
Well, I mean, I think it's already there's elements of it already taking root in terms of the change.
Say more.
Because I think that you and I both we both recognize a different communication style. You and I both recognize a different kind of...
Between the two of us?
Yeah, I think so.
Say, like, what is it?
Well, like we were talking about earlier, about how the whole wedding planning process has enabled us to like speak more openly and to approach each other with more curiosity and to say like, what can I pick up for you? Where do you need help? How can I show up better for you? So that is something that has really changed. And I think that is going to grow because when I think about, when children come along or just the logistics of, expanding our families, I think our worlds get a little bigger, our families get a little bit bigger. And then I think the commitment that you and I are entering into is we're like recommitting to each other in a more deep way. And I think we're able to feel that as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've already noticed it in that when we got engaged, it just settled my nervous system in a way. And I don't even know why, because again, I never was like this gun-ho marriage person until I met you. I was like, oh, I definitely want to get married. Like, and I want to be married to Tim. But once we got engaged, it just gave me a level of stability. Honestly, I think it made me more securely attached, where there was a period of our relationship where I feel like, I was decently anxiously attached. And I think that it's as we've gotten closer and learned to communicate better and really learn more of who I am as an individual and who you are and what we are building as a couple, like it's gotten more and more secure. But the engagement gave such a level of like emotional safety because it was like, okay, we're definitely both on the same page. And like we definitely both choose each other. And it's like, it's not so easy to just like, I never thought you would, but like, you can't run away.
Got him. Yeah, I mean, I think that like we definitely leveled up in that moment and we felt it. I mean, there's something.
And I noticed it in you too, where you've also felt like more at peace and secure with me.
Yeah, I think that. Well, I mean, I think you were talking about being anxiously attached. I think that definitely affected me in a certain way of just being like, like that anxiety kind of spilled over into me and made me anxious when we both knew that we loved each other so much. And so this gesture of like, I am promising myself to you and you accepted that promise and returned it to me, like that just put this comfortability over the whole relationship of like we're both promising to each other in a small way so that 9 months from now, 10 months from now, we can promise to each other in the biggest way possible.
Yeah. So I think that marriage will bring like an even higher level of security and safety and increase that foundation. You've always felt like home to me, but it feels like we're moving into an even better home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And like you were saying about how people don't always get the arts, but they get weddings. It's kind of the same thing of like people don't always get boyfriends and girlfriends because it's like, will they or won't they? But they always get a husband and a wife.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're together, no matter what, like you are husband and wife and you did those steps and you took those leaps. And we understand that on a fundamentally different level than we understand boyfriend, girlfriend, and fiance. Like everyone has treated us with so much kindness and so much happiness and so much
Yeah.
joy when we say my fiance,
They're always like,
because
congratulations.
yeah, still to this day.
I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, I remember on my bachelor party when I went to Chicago to have the bachelor party, and we were telling everyone, they were saying, "Is this a special occasion?" And everyone was like, "Well, it's his bachelor party. He's getting married." And every single person was like, "Congratulations, sir! Congratulations! So happy for you!" And it really is this thing in the community, no matter where you go, where people are like, "We're so happy for you! Congratulations!"
It's so true. Like this one girl, we were dancing on the bachelor party. We like found this really cool like disco bar, and I was dressed up like a bride. I had my little like fake veil thing, my little like fun veil thing on, and I had a white dress on. And this girl turned to me. She's like, "Can I please buy you a drink?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm good. Like I'm just dancing now." And she's like, "You make a beautiful bride." It was just so sweet and so heartfelt. And everywhere we went, congratulations, congratulations. I'm going to miss that part. Like, that
Yeah.
was the best part about being fiancés is like, everyone was so excited for us.
Mm-hmm.
It was so sweet. And yeah, I'm excited too because like, I think wife and husband has like gravitas to it. It's just, I think I'm going to take myself more seriously. I'm like we're going to take the relationship even more seriously. I think that like people in the world get this, like the seriousness and the gravitas of like, oh, these two people are like in it together. Like they've chosen to do life together. They've proclaimed, they've gotten the law involved. These people love each other so much. They got the law involved. Like that's serious love.
It is. Can't wait to take that step with you.
Same here. And I think that that's kind of what makes marriage even more special now is that it is a choice. Back when, even a couple generations ago, it was an expectation. Whereas now, yes, it's still a societal expectation, but it is a lot more of a choice than it ever was. And the fact that we're still choosing to get married, I think makes it that much more special because we're doing it from our hearts versus what we think is expected of us by society.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're making it our own, and a lot of people like we're choosing to get married and we're choosing to have a wedding. And I think
Yeah.
that that's a big thing too, of just like there's something very human and social and the emotion of going through the process of inviting our closest people and vowing to them and having them kind of vow back to us. Like you and I wanted that experience.
Yeah.
And you can't really put a price on that. People try and there is a price tag that comes with it. But I think that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do it is because we thought like it's a memory that will just live on forever.
Yeah. It's so true. And, I've heard a lot of people say, well, why would you spend all that money on a wedding? You could put the money toward a house. You could travel the world. Like, why would you do that? I used to feel that way before I met you. When I would hear people spending all this money on weddings, I'm like, that's so dumb. Like, why would you do that? Like, just like, if you really want to get married, just get married, but like, don't do an expensive wedding. And then I was talking with my therapist and we were like talking about all this. And like, I also had issues with weddings just because of like the history and, how it used to be a way to sell women and all. So there's some, pain of past generations
Trauma.
there. Yeah. But we were talking about how weddings can be different and every couple gets to choose. And it's not that anymore. It's two people as equals coming together and choosing each other. But she said, you know, the reason why I think weddings are great, if you choose to do that, is because you two are proclaiming to each other, like, you are the one I choose. I want to be with you forever, and I want to share my life with you and build a life with you. And you're standing in front of your community and asking them to support you in that. And that's why you have the wedding. That's why you have the ceremony. It's as much a proclamation to each other as it is a request for the support of your community and for them to proclaim and vow to you to support you.
Mm-hmm.
And that really changed my mind. And it's why I do think weddings, in whatever way you can do it, whether it's a backyard wedding, whether it's a big blowout wedding, if you have a community that's important to you, I do think having this type of ceremony is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that if we're connected to that spiritual, social aspect of it, that's what it's all about.
I agree. Is there anything else, like any other feelings leading up to the wedding or anything else you want to memorialize about our love? Maybe our grandkids will listen to this one day.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh. Subscribe, rate, review, kids. Don't forget, Grandma needs to make her bag. No, I'm kidding.
I always, speaking of grandkids, I remember, well, this ongoing joke that we have between you and I is that the dress color of your bridesmaids is rosette.
Yes.
And so I've always imagined our grandkids asking us, like, what, like, Grandma and Grandpa, what colors did you wear for your wedding? Rosette. Now I remember. Rosette. Dark blue was for me.
If you don't know, because this is an obscure little musical interlude from Les Mis that I just sing to Tim all the time. So when he heard that the name of the color of the bridesmaid's dress was Rosette, he started singing that. But it's from Les Mis, and it's Eponine singing, Cosette, now I remember. Cosette, what can it be? So now we both had our musical moment.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, like what do you want to memorialize about our love, baby? Anything coming to mind?
I think we've covered a lot.
Why do you want to marry me?
Oh, I'm saving that for the vows.
No,
honey,
I want a preview.
Honey.
I can't wait.
Honey buns. Well, because you're the one. That's why. Because I met the one, and I want to share a beautiful life with you.
And I also with you, with your spirit.
And with your spirit, as long as I possibly can.
That is a funny story. The reason why Tim just said that is because there was a point, you know, as much as he was like, yeah, and you were so anxious that it made me anxious. Well, he's avoidant, so we can all let's just all put our cards on the table, okay? It's a perfect storm, baby. And we're getting more secure as we do more work and couples work and work on ourselves in individual therapy.
I'm not avoidant. I'm just very staunchly Irish.
Okay, aka avoidant as fuck. So anyway, he was like struggling because like I was like, why do like I just saw the whole vision, okay? I move fast. When I know, and I want the thing now, okay? I want it yesterday. And so like 4 months in, I was like, we're going to get married. What's the point in delaying? Like we both know it's happening. And Tim was, you know, rightfully so, a little freaked out by my urgency. I went from being like, I'm never getting married to like, why aren't we already married?
Put a ring on it.
Put a ring on it. So, anyway, there was a point where I'm like, I've got the best idea ever, because he's like nervous about the ideas of like these platitude. Is that the right word? Like these like, you know, big sayings of forever and superlatives. Like you're the love of my life forever. The one, which he loves saying now.
Yes.
But it was a little much for him at 4 months in. So because that was like a little jarring to him, I'm like, I have a great idea. Tim, when we get married, we'll just say to each other, I will love you for as long as I possibly can. And then he's like, well, I don't want that. I'm like, well, what do you want?
I want forever. I want the one.
I do too. That's why I wrote a song called Forever in You a month into our dating.
It's a beautiful song.
Because I knew, baby. I just knew. And I'm like, once you know, why would you wait?
Yeah.
But they do say it's best to wait for like a year because the honeymoon phase is like a year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
you're not even thinking straight. You're basically on love drugs for at least a year, year and a half.
Yeah.
But turns out I was right anyway. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I do think everything, as much as I pushed the timeline, it all happened in perfect timing.
Mm-hmm. It did. Yeah. And I think even the symbolism of like 3 years in and our anniversary was October 3rd. And that's when the proposal came. And so it's just, there's a lot of symbolism and there's a lot of, yeah, I think it's beautiful the way that it all came together.
It is. And the other thing that's beautiful is by the time we were engaged, we had already done, I think, the hard work that a lot of people do in the first couple years of marriage, that people are like, oh, marriage is so hard. Like, we've already done so much work on our relationship and on ourselves that now getting married, again, like just kind of like the financial discussion, it just feels easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't feel like we've already talked about every hard topic you could ever imagine under the sun. Like,
Yeah.
we've done it. And so even though I knew and I wasn't wrong, you also weren't wrong in that we needed more time to cook. We just did. We needed more time to get to know each other and to get to know ourselves and to get to know who we were as a couple, what we needed to work on, what work was mine, what work was yours, what work was ours. And we have gotten there and will continue to grow. But like, the foundation we have is so strong. It's made of
Iron.
genuine diamond, baby. More than 3 carats, 1 billion carats.
1 billion carats.
So I think that, yeah, like what I want to memorialize about our love is the feeling that was there in the beginning is still there. That like sparkly, fun energy of like, I have to tell you every thought I've ever had. And this is so much fun. We laugh together constantly all day long, but we also have these beautiful, deep conversations about everything from spirituality to politics to friendship to self-development. And we can do all the hard things together. And that is just like, we have everything.
Yeah.
Like, we have everything. And my favorite thing about you is your willingness to look at yourself and our willingness to look at our union. Because if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to address everything and feel everything and move through it, you can do anything. And I've never been close to being with someone like that. So I love you for who you are. I love you for who I am when I'm around you. And I love you for how we've grown and continue to grow.
Ditto.
Cosign.
Amen.
Cosign.
Yeah, cosign.
Yeah, I'm just excited to be married and to like start the next phase of our life. I'm really excited to have kids.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have kids.
Yeah. That'll be an amazing new chapter.
It's going to be so great. I know we're going to do so well together. And like, we're both so excited to be parents. And we've discussed it so much. Like, we've already painted such a picture for each other of like what our lives together as parents will be like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just going to be, I'm just so excited. Like, I cannot wait to raise a child with you.
Yeah.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. Yes.
And I can't wait to be your wife.
Can't wait to be your hubby.
Yeah.
An apron to prove it.
My hubby apron.
Hubby.
All right. Is there anything else we should leave these beautiful human beings with?
I think that's it. I think don't be afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
To engage with everything that life has to offer.
To change your mind.
Yeah.
You know, if I had just stayed staunch about marriage, I wouldn't be here about to marry my literal best friend.
Mm-hmm.
You're the best friend I ever had. You really are.
You're my best friend. Yes. We feel it too. Like we can feel each other's absence.
I know.
And it's like, oh man, I wish like she was just here, you know, whenever we're apart.
Yeah. Even on our bachelorettes, we're like, aw, I miss them. This is fun, but I miss my friend.
Yeah. I have even more fun.
Yeah.
With my best friend.
Yeah. We just have we sing songs all day together. It's so great. Yeah. I I get it. Like when people used to say like, I married my best friend. I was like, okay.
Snooze fest,
Yeah,
bring a book.
exactly. I was like, oh, you're pretty boring, eh? I get it now. You're not boring. You're so sweet. You opened your heart. You met the person of your dreams and you like love life together and you experience everything together and you grow together and you cry together and you get mad and you make up and and you just laugh. Like we laugh all day long.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it. There's so much laughter in this household.
Yeah. We live, we laugh, we love.
Yeah, we're like a pillow from Home Goods, but way more attractive. So anyway, yeah, I can't wait to marry you, and I thank you, Creative Cutie, for listening. I don't know if this is what you expected. I don't know if it's what I expected. I hope it was good, and we were able to really explain our love and like the feelings leading up to getting married. I think it's like a hodgepodge.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, we're literally 10 days out and this is how we're feeling and this is what's coming up and this is what we're discussing.
This is just a snapshot of the time we're in.
Yeah. Tune in for after.
Yeah. We'll come back and tell you all the goodies. We'll stuff the gifts once again.
Stuff the gifts.
And I just want to say one other thing. I'm sorry. It's just like issuing a formal apology. I'm really sorry to anyone I've ever RSVP'd too late. I now know that was the rudest thing ever, and I will never, ever make you chase me down again. I promise. God is my witness. I will be an early RSVPer from here on out. Or if I can't be and I need to wait, I'm going to text you and let you know that I'm going to wait right up until the deadline, but I will let you know. Okay?
We call this the wetiquette.
Wetiquette.
We did not realize proper wetiquette
No.
until we've gone through the process, and we can see now RSVPs, they are to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Communication, and please be thankful if you're on the invite list because it is an honor to be invited.
And it's also not a dishonor to not be invited.
Yes.
Like I already felt this way when certain friends didn't invite me to their weddings. I'm like, I understand how hard that must be. And it's like, even if it was an oversight or it wasn't, it's like, I get it. Everyone is doing their absolute best. And one other thing, I realized I didn't do my Justice for Bridezillas segment. My only thing about Bridezillas is I don't think Bridezillas actually exist, or if they do, they're a very small percentage, like 2 to 5%. I think that Bridezillas have been driven to the brink of insanity by the people around them and are acting crazy because everyone around them is making them crazy. So just Justice for Bridezillas. I don't think that there actually is much of a thing as society would lead you to think.
I've witnessed a lot of stress from the outside affecting you in terms of the unsolicited advice, the anxiety that others have about making your day perfect.
Yes.
The projection or the future casting or the past casting, I guess.
Yeah.
People remembering their experiences,
complaints.
putting it on you, the complaints.
I mean,
the need to know the timeline of like, what are you doing? So there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I think when it's coming from so many people from all ends of the spectrum and you're the sole person that is receiving it, it can
drive you crazy.
Drive you crazy.
And the thing is, everyone in my life who has caused stress, truly, I don't believe anyone is coming from a bad point of view. They've all come from a good point of view. I just think it doesn't matter what point of view it is. It's not intention, it's impact. And so I think whenever you are a part of anyone's wedding, like especially if you're in the inner circle, doing your best to make sure you do not cause them additional stress or mental load is huge, because I really have come to believe, I have seen a few people go crazy the day of their wedding, and now I realize, oh, everyone around them was making them so stressed, or like they had too much on their plate and no one else was helping. So it can go either way. It can be like too many cooks in the kitchen or not enough. But I really believe 95% of all bridezillas are not horrible at all. They've just been driven to the brink of insanity by the people around them, maybe most often by good intention or not. TBD. But overall, it's been a beautiful process. Amen. All right. Well, thank you so much, Creative Cutie, for listening. I love you. Thank you for coming along this journey with me as you've come along on all the journeys for the past almost 7 years. You're amazing. I do want to say one thing. The best way you can support us in this new chapter of our lives is by praying for us and sending us good vibes for our beautiful day coming up, and by supporting our work. So please take the time to leave Unleash Your Inner Creative a rating and review, share the episode with a friend, follow the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, post about it on social media, and also listen to my music wherever you get your music. And finally, consider hiring me for a speaker about creativity and as a creative coach. This is something I'm going to be doing a lot more of in the fall, and I would love your support on it. For Tim, you can buy his book at the link in the show notes and at the link in his Instagram bio. Follow him at Timothy Michael Blewett and at
The Feisty Rascal.
And you can hire him as a speaker and a teacher on emotional intelligence, embodiment, and theater. By supporting our dreams and career, you're supporting our new lives together and making it possible for us to build something even more beautiful with the support of you, our community. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being part of our community, for cheering me on all these years, seeing me through past relationships, my single years, and into falling in love with Timmy and now getting married to him. And my wish for you is that you find a love that feels like home. And if you already have it, I wish for you to hold it close and cherish it as the gift that it is. It is truly the best part of life. And it has been the thing that has finally allowed me to realize that who I am is the best part about me. Like, you loving me has helped me claim my inherent worthiness. And so finding true love can be one of the most important steps to self-worth and self-love. Do you agree?
I agree.
Yay.
Wholeheartedly.
Well, we love you and we believe in you. I'll talk with you in September when Unleash comes back. Bye, babes.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yay.